I was saying, welcome to this meditation from the heat wave in the south of France. So I invite us to begin feeling temperature of your hands on your body, maybe intuitively feeling into where your hands want to be. Maybe it's too hot. If you're directly touching the skin, maybe that's just perfect for this meditation. That's the peaceful place for your hands to be. But giving a bit of time to that. Temperature of your hands, the temperature of what your hands are touching, and the connection, the contact between those two. And this kind of warm-up exploration, if you feel like, of just feeling just the warmth of the hands, maybe on the top of the hands and the palms, in between the fingers. With the weight of your hands, and feeling the warmth of the part of your body where your hands are touching. And feeling the intensity of the connection between the touch and the touched. Feeling into another place, if you feel like, that's easy to connect with. Maybe like your tongue in your mouth. Feeling the warmth of the tongue, the warmth of the space it's in, and the connection. Maybe one by one, maybe all of it together. And allowing any ideas or concepts around what we're doing to drop away and just feel the connection. Feel into it as it is without even naming tongue or mouth or hands or thighs or whatever. Just feeling the actual experience of that connectivity there. Feeling the eyelids on the eyeballs, the warmth of the eyeballs, the warmth of the eyelids, and the place of connection. And if that's any way difficult to get in contact with, you could come back to an easier connecting place of touch and the touched. Inviting you into feeling maybe a larger part of your body. Like if you're lying down, your back, your bottom, ankles, back of the head, or whatever, and the floor. Or maybe just your feet and the floor. Again, feeling what's touching and what's touched. And the contact. And there may be some distractions, some thoughts. And without exiling them or throwing them out, just gently turning our attention more to the invitation now of feeling the touching and the touched place of contact, the experience of that. And allowing thoughts and plans and all of the rest of it to be there in the background, but just kind of sitting idly, like on a little boat that's not moving, just bobbing. Not a problem. Coming to a whole body feeling, feeling the whole of our skin, the whole of the outside of our body, and the warmth of the inside. There may be a difference in temperature, and we feel the whole of the inside. And the whole of the outside of our body. With the nebulous the connection, the contact. Including now what's touching our skin, feeling that difference in temperature. So we have the space around us touching our skin, the outside of our body, and the inside, the warmer inside, as we're warm-blooded human beings. And how is this play between those? Maybe the mind throws up some labels and ideas around this, and we can just let them kind of melt away without getting stuck on thought processes and just feeling the actual experience of the cooler space around us, touching our skin, the warmer inside, and whatever journey there is between that. As a way to focus, as a way to be in the now, in this body here. If some physical tensions come up, it's a particular place in the body, just kind of focusing into that, as if we had an inside microscope of the inside warmth, full-bodied feeling, the skin touching the outside air, the space, the cooler feeling, and seeing how that is with whatever um, density or intensity of physical sensations are arising. What does it do to come into this focus? There may be some back and forths. some bringing of what we were doing before this meditation, the recent past or the week before or whatever, and some future moving out of now into thoughts of later or something we need to say to someone or do or whatever. Whatever's moving us, and just allowing for this embodiedness to have an effect on that. Like embracing the hops that we do out into the future, or the hops back in the past into this moment now as part of it, part of now. Through this bodily presence. Like this fluidity between what we're calling ourself, me here now, and the outside of us, the other people, other beings, the houses, the cars. Allowing some fluidity between those by letting go of a certain holding. As well as our movements of future and past, present. Like no more walls between these. My present is influenced, is dyed, coloured by my hops into the future as it is by the past. It's part of the now. And in this space of embodiedness, this more fluid way of being here now, also allowing this sense of fluidity to influence our what we find to be difficult, what we find to be problematic. So we can just allow that to happen as it does, out just on the edges of our awareness. Or we can bring to mind something that's a bit jagged, a bit difficult, a bit problematic, and allow this embodied sense to spill into it, to suffuse it. This embodied presence. And if we feel in any way unfocused and lost in what's going on, we can just come back to the place of touching and touched and the connection between feeling the different warmths between the hands and the thighs, the space around us and our skin and our inside, our warm-blooded inside, something that's easy to connect with. And giving ourselves this just sitting back into this embodied presence of feeling those sensations, those places of contact. And then if we feel like, again, opening towards how does this influence something that feels more jagged? How does this embodied presence pepper the experience of something more like an obstacle? Or so there's this back and forth between sitting into embodied presence and allowing what we think is an obstacle or problem, anxiety, disruption, to be soaked by our embodied presence. How does the embodied presence we can be experiencing, we can cultivate, we can sink into, how does this melt the sense of a contracted self? Or how does it feel when we allow that to happen? Or how does embodied presence suffuse and dissolve contracted states of mind, if that's applicable now? Mm. And if these questions are make you think too much or something that impedes the meditation, just let them go. That's fine. Or allow them to happen kind of naturally without too much thinking effort. Just feeling into contractedness in general, if there is any, and the embodied presence suffusing through that, dissolving, melting, like an allowing of any contracted states of mind or body, saying, yes, it's okay if you just put it all down and melt, dissolve back, down through into the ground or up through into the sky. Almost like we hold to these states on purpose, but unconsciously without awareness, and this awareness, embodied presence, spread. And widen our experience. It will just sit for these last 3 or 4 minutes of meditation, just allowing all of this to be in us, these suggestions, these invitations, to be in us and do what they do within us as needed. Towards the end of this meditation, you can offer it as a gift for ourselves, for our gathering into our own enlightened embodied presence. Even if there was just a few seconds, that's still bringing a familiarity of enlightened body, embodied presence into our experience, that later our body can remember this. Our body, our heart, our mind can remember how that feels and come back to it again and again for longer and longer periods. So there's this dedication that's like a tiny celebration of this offering to ourselves. Because we don't want to be greedy and get contracted, keeping it all for ourselves. We can offer it also to all sentient beings. They may also gather into some enlightened embodied presence and get familiar and have a delicious taste of this.